What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode right here on the Hockey Edmonton Show, episode 14. 14 times we've done this. Well, 14, I've said this before. I've done this now 12 or 11 times. You've done this 13 times.
Yep.
There's only one show that you missed. You were away.
Yep.
Very busy guy this guy is. That's Jeremy Halischuk, as always, to my right. And we've got another jam-packed show. We're going to be hearing from three guests. We've got Michelle from the Maple Leaf Athletic Club, who we should be hearing from shortly here. We got Brad Butterfield, president of Southwest Zone Minor Hockey. And to finish things off, we've got Dustin Moore from Central Alberta Outreach Centre and the star of the Oh Dear podcast. Oh Dear.
Oh dear, yeah.
Oh dear is right. So we got a really good show coming your way. As always, guys, if you're new to the show, leave a like, drop a comment down below as we read every single one. Thanks for all the continued support, all the people who keep tuning into the show. It really means the world. And we're having a lot of fun with this. And we hope that we're, spreading some good messages as we've had, last two episodes have been just unbelievable, really fun, really good conversations. We had Brock McGillis yesterday, 2 weeks ago. And then we had
Barry Midori.
Barry Midori. It's been a whirlwind over here. Jeremy, I'm sorry. It's been go. Yeah, I think that's 2 days ago. Are you kidding me? No, 2 weeks ago. It just feels like 2 days ago. But that's what we got on tap today. I'm gonna now toss it over to Jeremy because I'm hogging the mic right now. Jeremy, how the heck are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Definitely doing well. I mean, 14 shows in,
14.
And people keep on listening, which is good. Like we joke around and such, but you talk about how we read the comments, and we are seeing definitely some good conversation pieces. Appreciate some of the people that have left the compliments down below and such. This is kind of what we want to do, is share stories about the game, and what we do within our organization to really enhance the game and the things that we're doing to actually really move this sport forward. And again, hopefully for those that are playing the game, you're with us, you hear the stories, and you can see that in your experience. Those that are on the fence about playing hockey, hopefully at the end of the day, this show has helped push you on to wanting to try the game. Like I said, we've talked about a lot of different ways to try the game. In fact, some of our Learn to Play programming is getting underway here as well. I think we just had some of it start in the last couple of weeks, and then we'll have some winter sessions going on as well. So again, lots of great opportunities. And again, like I said, we really want to tell our story about what the game does here. And really, I think as we're getting into December here, this is kind of where we want to go for these first few episodes in terms of, really sharing and showing how hockey gives back to the community. And again, how you can help assist those that are giving back. Again, you're going to hear some good stories here this week and next week, this week within our organizations, and those that have, gone through and done these types of things as players. And then next week with our folks over at, partners at Kids Sport and Sport Central, and again, how you can help support them, and really why it's important, again, the game itself, why we want to give back. Because I know that, when people talk about hockey, they talk about, the cost. It's a rich man's sport, that's a stigma that we have, that we're facing. And just like any sport, especially at the high level, we talked about this almost months ago about how it seems the elite always gets pulled down. The elite experience gets pulled down into the community programming. And it doesn't matter what sport that is, be it dancing, be it cheerleading, be it hockey, be it baseball, be it soccer. Everybody talks about how much they're spending on sport. Well, chances are they're talking about the elite program here. And again, that gets brought down to the community side. And so, while, yes, we do have that stigma, and it does cost some money to play in some cases. Again, we'll hear how organizations are helping remove those financial barriers. I think, the dedication that hockey shows to really helping and giving back to the community and opening up those that may have a little bit different experience. They may not have understood, not getting a Christmas gift, for example, or they might not have a loved one in the hospital, or they may not know somebody that relies on the food bank. But at the end of the day, our sport. We want to give back to these causes again, and this also helps people understand the differences in society. And again, we talk about how hockey builds better people. This is one of them in providing that opportunity to give back, see the impact that you're making, but also motivate you. Again, talk about Dustin. His story at the end is going to be something to behold in terms of community giving back and such. So again, we talk about in as well. We talk about giving back to our community. We make sure that our community, our hockey community, that nobody's left behind either, right? So again, some of these things that we talk about in the few weeks here over Christmas, again, ensuring that yes, that for those that are want to play, we make sure that yes, you can play. You have a space or a spot here to play. We'll make sure that you get into the game, and again, our community helps each other to give back and get you into that game.
Well said there, Jeremy. Leave a like for that. Yes, hockey does give back in many ways, and with Christmas right around the corner, what better time about to discuss about what hockey does, what some of these athletic clubs, these zones, these organizations are doing to give back, right? It's really important to do that, and that's what we're going to be discussing pretty soon with all three of our guests that we have on the show today, starting with Michelle, who should be in the queue here shortly. But talking about maybe you could touch on, because I know we want to touch on what these representatives are doing to help give back, but is there anything right off the top of your mind that Hockey Edmonton, or should we wait?
Oh no, like we can talk about what organizationally we've done. So again, with a limited time frame, we can't bring everybody on, but I look at, for example, one of our clubs, one of our other clubs, the Canadians Athletic Club. They have been a very good partner with the Lois Hole Hospital Women's Society. And in the last 3 years, they've raised over $38,000 for
Wow.
that society to help provide equipment to those that are in the Lois Hole Hospital. So a really good cause there. Last year, I think they bought, and again, I don't know the technical terms of it, but essentially it was essentially warming blankets to help patients that are going through cancer treatment there, right? So again, and I think one of those blankets costs at least $16,000 to $20,000. So again, we talk about what society does and how we give back. Like that is a tangible effect to give back to community, because for example, many people have been touched by cancer, right? So again, I think the stats are that 1 in 2 people will know somebody that's been affected by it. So again, you look at that great work there. I mean, our Female Hockey Alliance new program here over the course of the last few weeks in November there, they ran their Hockey Fights Cancer games, and again, raising that funds. Again, you'll hear Maple Leaf Athletic Club, our Knights of Columbus, Southside Athletic Club, they all run their pink games as well throughout the year, again, raising funds for that. From our standpoint, at Hockey Edmonton, we recently, or a month ago there almost now, actually more than a month, our OEG Cup tournament and our Junior Oiler programs routinely run food bank drives to give back to the food bank. And I know, like the OEG Cup, just taken back, I think for sure we had at least 3 full boxes for sure. I know that. I can't remember what it ended up because I wasn't around on the rink on the Monday. And even our Junior Oiler program, again, they've done coat drives during the winter season. Again, we have a lot of people that need some of these necessities, and again, those are things that our programs have done to give back. And like I said, you just go through the list of the things that hockey does. I go back to even just the partnerships outside the traditional scope of the game, but like the Matt Cook Foundation. Again, that community that came together when he passed away, or when he was diagnosed and then passed away, just that legacy that's come from that to continue to raise funds for cancer research and such. So.
Yeah, no, well said. And just some clarification, Jeremy, for people maybe tuning in and they're not quite sure. They're just they got some questions as well. But as far as the Hockey Edmonton goes, we're going to be talking from Michelle from Maple Leaf Athletic Club. Are they is it a branch they are kind of overseen by Hockey Edmonton?
Yeah, they're one of our members.
Right.
At the end of the day, yeah, so our 4 club system or 4 club teams and junior Oilers oversee, as well as Female Hockey Alliance also has teams in our elite system.
Yeah.
So again, when we talk about our 4 clubs, that's when you talk about those elite players and such. And that's where we talk about really. We say that hockey develops leaders at all ages and such, but a lot of our clubs are working really hard to make sure that yes, that is a foundational piece of the player development side is giving back to the community, identifying with that community. So again, yeah, they're one of our 4 clubs that oversee the elite side of the game.
I know for me, watching, because there is the junior Oilers, right, connected. Obviously, there's some partnership there with the main squad, the Edmonton Oilers here, right, if I'm not mistaken. So, just the top of the brain, the one thing that the hockey is given back, I go to what, the Oilers are able to do with the 50-50, right? Half of that goes to the person. A lot of the time, the other half goes to said charity, and you see those, right? 50-50s. That money goes towards certain charities. I know from back home that was a case that what they did. So yeah, it could be little things like that, giving back some money to some said charities as well. As we await our first guest of today's show, Michelle from Maple Leaf Athletic Club should be joining us shortly here. We did just get word. We actually, Michelle is very, very busy today, so she won't be able to join, but we still do have 2 guests coming along later in the show. But Michelle, she is from the Maple Leaf Athletic Club. Say that 4 times fast. I'm having a hard time with that one. But Jeremy, my co-host over here, the genius that he is, he'll be able to shed some light on, some things that the Maple Leaf Athletic Club is currently doing to give back in the community.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we look at our club system, I think the Maple Leaf Athletic Club has been a leader in giving back to the community as a whole. So, it starts with their blue and white games where they do typically raise funds depending on the way it's structured and such. But they're really big ones where they were really pioneers on the pink games. Quite honestly, they took that ball and they really ran with it, and it became synonymous with the Maple Leaf Athletic Club program. Excuse me. And so that was really, I think, from what I see as an outsider per se, that was really the really one of the first, running with the ball moments for that club in terms, or all of our clubs to provide, that giving back program. And it's expanded within that organization. They're now doing Santa's Anonymous games as well. So I know over the month of November, each of their teams has been taking toy donations. And again, like I said, they go out there and also do the team building side of delivering those toys. And I talking about this with one of our coworkers yesterday in the office, because he is a person that's gone through the Maple Leaf Athletic Club Northeast Zone guy. He talked about the impact it had on his kid, and his kid has been out of the program for a couple of years now, graduated on and such. But he talked about how his son wants that legacy to continue in terms of donating that toy and really giving back to that community. So that's what they're doing right now in terms of, continuing that legacy, and not just that building in that giving back culture within the family side of it. So again, we talk about how these can impact and shape people as they go into adulthood. Again, prime example of these giving back initiatives. But like I said, they've been definitely one of at the forefront. And I think when we talk about, if you're looking for the positives that sport gives, yes, physically active, but being better, being a better person and learning those life skills, this is one of those selling features, again, for our programs, for our club programs like the Maple Leaf Athletic Club, that at the end of the day, you will get those skills, you will get an appreciation for your environment, but also you're going to learn about different people's perspectives, different people's situations. And again, that just, stays with you long beyond your playing days.
Absolutely. I know we had some questions obviously queued up for Michelle as we were expecting her, but if you're just tuning in now, our first guest, she is a very, very busy lady, and unfortunately she won't be able to join us, but we will have her on a later episode to definitely shed some light on the Maple Leaf Athletic Club. Jeremy's doing an absolutely great job doing it. I'm not surprised, Jeremy. As always, you're absolutely crushing it. This one's kind of geared towards her, and maybe you might be able to touch on this as well. Feedback is huge. I'm just curious, Jeremy, have you heard any feedback from maybe the players? Is there positive feedback with what the Maple Leaf Athletic Club's been able to do?
I wouldn't say specifically with them specifically, but the common feedback we do hear is people do appreciate that. The players really do get a genuine appreciation when they're out there, for example, delivering those toys and seeing the impact that they actually make on somebody else's life. Like you talk about when we had Brock on a few weeks ago, how it was mind-blowing that, somebody comes up to him and says, yeah, you saved my life. Okay, not quite at that high end, but when you can sit there and see that smile on the face or see that gratitude that those people or organizations have, it's really impactful for those kids, and that's why they continue to give back long after that.
Yeah, it's not just a one and done.
No, exactly. It's exactly. Everybody has reasons why they want to give back to your community. In this case, this is a great way they get introduced to it, and again, it just really is that initial experience in giving back that it's not really that bad in terms of intimidating. Just the slightest gratitude you get really does fill the heart and really makes you appreciate what you have. And like I said, again, you see the difference in somebody else's life. That's what really sticks for those kids, and again, why they continue to do this for the most part after they played or expand on it.
Yeah. And this is another one geared towards Michelle, but I have this one prepped. I'm going to see if you might be able to touch on this a little bit. And if not, no worries, we can move on. I know our next guest is almost ready here, but we are, in December, and there have been a few initiatives that have already occurred. Are there any others that the Leafs are coming up with? And if so, do you know a way to how people can get involved?
A lot of our club programs, they are gearing up for their pink games. That's the really big ones coming up. So, best way is, number one, go to the Alberta either elite or female hockey leagues to go see dates on when organizations or games are playing. Go on to our 4 club websites, either the Canadians Athletic Club, Knights of Columbus, Southside Athletic Club, or the Maple Leaf Athletic Club, and you will get they'll have them posted for you on when they're doing their pink games, because these are really big games. They bring their community together, because we talk about bringing community together, our players, but you look at how the parents buy into this and how it becomes a big part of what they do for the year. They look forward to this. So again, this brings that group together. They're all pumped for it. They want to get the word out. Go out there and support them. At the end of the day, a lot of these games don't cost anything to come into, but you can come make a donation. They have various prizes, various different ways to fundraise. So again, go on to one of our 4 club sites, either the Maple Leaf Athletic Club, the Canadians Athletic Club, Knights of Columbus, or the Southside Athletic Club. They'll have that information here, but those will be rearing up here in the new year.
Sweet. You're a pro's pro. You handle that so good.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. That's what happens sometimes in the business. You get a guest, it doesn't quite work out, but you did amazing there. That was awesome.
Thank you very much.
Yes, this is the Hockey Edmonton Show. I'm YouTube Trev, joined as always by Jeremy Halleschuk, and I do believe our first guest is ready for today's show. Does this guy look familiar to you, Jeremy?
He does look familiar. I'm happy to see Brad here and joining us, and I'm excited to have him speak a little bit on what they're doing over at the Southwest Zone, and hopefully we'll also have him on a little bit later on in the year as well as a different type of guest, but for a different episode. But I think today I'm excited to have him share the Southwest Zone story.
Absolutely. Let's bring Brad on now. Brad Butterfield, president of Southwest Zone of Minor Hockey. How's it going, Brad? Can you hear us okay?
Hey guys, I can hear you well. Can you hear me?
Talking about, yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
That went perfectly. Right on.
Awesome.
Well, first off, Brad, thank you for joining the show. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. I know we tried to have you on an earlier episode this season. It didn't quite, a little bit of technical issues, but we're super pumped that you could join us today. So thank you for that. First off, if you want to just start off by telling the audience, introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? What is your position?
Sure. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, and happy this worked. I'm actually in Ottawa today, so I got to see the Oilers beat the Sens last night. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Everyone around the office isn't as happy as I am. But
yeah.
Yeah. So Brad Butterfield, I'm the president of Southwest Zone Hockey, which is one of the largest, if not largest, associations in the city. So we manage the U15, U18 programs, as well as some of the recreation programs in the area. And then we have SWAT and Confederation that run the U7 through U13 programs. So with the growth, again, pretty significant part of Hockey Edmonton, at least from the size and lots of programs that we have going on in the Southwest. So, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, no, definitely one of our big associations. Again, very in my year, very grateful for meeting you, Brad, and having good conversations. So I wouldn't even say that yes, you have a good impact or big impact because of your size, but just as a person as well, you've had a good impact here on my first year and a bit here at Hockey Edmonton. The expertise, the advice. The demeanor, definitely, I think our folks over at the Southwest Zone are definitely in a good position to have you there. So no problem. As we started in our show here, we were talking about how hockey gives back, and we're timely here that we're now into the Christmas season. And yeah, we really want to really highlight what our programs are doing and how people can help. So let's first start with one of your initiatives, your Help a Friend initiative.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. And we started this, it was really at the onset of COVID. And we've continued to run that through. But what we were starting to see, and just from a background perspective, one of the things we're seeing, and we really believe similar to Hockey Edmonton, Hockey Alberta, really, I mean, hockey's for everyone. And one of the things we've seen is a pretty dramatic growth in our area, particularly in the rec league. In the non-body contact divisions. So some of the things that I'd say Hockey Canada, Hockey Alberta, Edmonton have done to try to encourage kids to stay in hockey. One of the things we found, and as you have multiple lines of programming, there's people looking to join hockey later in life, into their teen years. They might not have played before. They might come from different circumstances. They might be new to the community, new to Canada. And one of the things, and it certainly was exacerbated in the COVID times, but some people may not have the means to get into hockey. And there are programs out there, but even, some of those might not get people to the point that they need to be able to get in and start playing. And so we started a Support a Friend initiative. And so at registration time, we've asked people to make a decision about whether they want to support that program. It's a minimal charge that gets added into the registration fee. But what it provides us is a set of money that we set aside to support people who may or may not be able to fund their entire registration. And we partnered with All Sports Replay. So people that were new to hockey, we also then were able to not only kind of subsidize and make sure that they were able to get onto the ice from a registration and some of the fees perspective, but we were able to get them suited up in equipment that was donated. So over the last number of years, we've been able to, I think we're up to about 27, 28 kids that we've supported new to the hockey program get in varying different, streams, whether it's the regular stream, the rec stream, playing contact, non-body contact. But again, just in the spirit of trying to help our neighbors and, both through the registration and then the the equipment and getting started process, I think it's been well received, and bringing new people into the programs, which we hope they're hockey for life. So.
Perfect. Yeah, that's definitely a good thing to hear. And again, how we address some of those challenges that, again, at the top of our program, we talked about sometimes our stigma that's associated with the game, and how it's sometimes there are barriers to entry, and we're trying to knock every one of those down. And definitely this Help a Friend initiative is one of those really good ways. And so you mentioned, from a partnership standpoint, you partner with All Sport Replay to help with this initiative. From and maybe can't necessarily speak 100% on their behalf, but from your perspective or conversations that you might have had with them, why do you think that that is an important initiative for them to partner up with you in this program?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think as it turns out, some of the folks involved there live in the area. So when they heard about the program, they actually sought us out to help, because they thought the initiative itself was excellent, but realized, getting registration and getting into the program is only one thing, and it can be, there's other barriers. And so it was really, I'd say it was them searching us out to have that conversation, realizing that, there's other barriers, not just registration fees, and trying to remove them all. And how do we do that? And so really good, kind of back and forth around that, and then support to continue to do that with us. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see those partnerships happen, because even when we talk about barriers, what about like that comfort barrier? Now you have a partner here that can help go and outfit these players or provide them that advice, because again, hockey, it's daunting if you actually look at, we on the Hockey Canada safety requires teamwork book. They have all the link of the equipment. On our website, we have highlight of all the equipment you need, but it can be really daunting if you're going through those aisles in whichever store you might choose. So it's definitely good to see that organizations are jumping on board for these types of initiatives.
Well, and when you think about it, it's not only, people who've been exposed to hockey their whole lives may still not have a comfort on what you need and what you need to do. I've been involved for, my daughter's graduated out, my son's in U18, participated with SWAT. I've spent my life playing hockey. I was traveling the other week with my boss through Canada, and his son's just starting. So he got a text from his wife going, "Does Nico need these?" And it was a picture of his hockey pants, right? So, whether you're new to Canada, maybe haven't been exposed to hockey, or you've been in Canada, you've watched hockey your entire life. If you haven't played, there's still the comfort, like you say, Jeremy, of trying to understand, you need help to be able to understand some of those things, what you need, what you don't need, what order things go on in, right? There's, it's a good point around the comfort. So, yeah.
Brad Butterfield, president of Southwest Zone Hockey, joining us right now. If you're tuning in, be sure to leave a like, drop a comment down below. This is the Hockey Edmonton Show. I'm YouTube Trev, Jeremy Halischuk to my right. Just a few more for you there, Brad. You talk about the new to the hockey program, the comfort, uncomfort. I'm curious the feedback that you've heard from the players partaking in these, and maybe you can share a few stories with either the players or the parents involved.
Yeah, no, it's on both, I'd say, right? I think it's the program itself has given the opportunity. So we've had people pop in that their kids played at the ODR and decided, look, I just want to get into this. They don't really understand the equipment they need. They don't have the means to join, and they've moved in, and now they're 2-3 years into the program. I'd call them hockey for life. So from that standpoint, I really feel like we're providing that opportunity for people who might not have it or not know where to go to get the opportunity to join and really play the sport we all love, right? So So, that we've had 2 or 3 of those where, it's either kids at the ODR talking to other kids who show up with their Southwest Zone track gear on going, hey, where do I do that? Where can I join? I'd love to play with you guys. And it's been interesting to see lots of great feedback from that perspective. The comfort and listen, over the years, I've seen, people arrive, they need to ask friends, they might not have the right equipment when they come. And it's simply just, I've had kids show up to tryouts wearing skates and a helmet because they might not have understood, the protective gear you need, right? Or someone comes, they've got all their gear just in a Canadian Tire shopping bag, right? And again, it's just being able to help people through that process. It can be intimidating, both to get started. A lot of people will provide the feedback after that if some of these things, either the help, just getting comfortable with what you need to get to the rink, and as well as the registrations and things like that. But if those weren't there, they wouldn't be participating. And so, having that ability to help, I think that way is, it's rewarding to see, because like I say, otherwise people have said they wouldn't be playing, which is unfortunate, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. And like I said, like you said there, I love the comments about how we help each other in this community. Again, yes, understand that even trying anything new is intimidating, but in hockey, we're here to help each other. We bring each other up as teammates, as families, everything. And it's not just, again, like we talk about the tangible teammate on the ice, but behind the scenes, that parent teammates there to help you navigate through, and that's where you're going to find those friends. And I love what you said about Hockey for Life. At the end of the day, yeah, they're coming in to try the system. They've enjoyed it. Maybe they continue on through their youth and then into adulthood. Maybe they are playing the beer leagues, or maybe they are playing intramurals if they're at school, and then continue on as families. Again, now that I've become comfortable with the game, I know that there's a support system there. I know there's options if I might not be able to financially afford it, but we can get our children into the game. So it's just creating that long-term athlete, like you said, for life, and continuing on to ensure that our game continues to sustain and grow.
Yeah, and you make a good point, Jeremy, and it's, I talk to my, I coach as well, and it's nice. We're looking to build better athletes, but I think it's more we're building better people, and I think that's a really important part. It's the community and bringing people into the community. People do make friends for life. I think you learn lessons. You 100% learn lessons in hockey that are transferable across. I think we're building better people, and so giving that opportunity to people to get in and experience that, I think, is a huge benefit. Forget about the building better hockey players and athletes.
Yep.
Brad, if people are interested in helping out, how can they do it?
So we do have information on our website, southwestzonehockey.ca. We're always looking for, both sponsors, but otherwise, talking about the all sports, and, there's other ways to get involved, right? So certainly reach out to me directly. There's links on the website, and, we'd be happy to have conversations. We're always looking for those types of opportunities to grow the game in different ways. So.
Sweet, Brad.
Perfect.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day. Safe travels back home, and I know we'll be having you on a later episode in the season, so really appreciate it. Best of luck to you, and have a good one.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Look forward to it, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah,
right
for sure.
All right.
Thanks, Brad.
Bye-bye.
Awesome. That was Brad Butterfield. He is the president of Southwest Zone Minor Hockey right here in Edmonton. Brad Butterfield, good guy, good name.
Yep.
Great things from Southwest Zone, all thanks to great people like Brad. So he had a lot to touch on there. It was really good. It was nice to spread some awareness and just shed some light on what Southwest Zone is doing here in Edmonton.
Yeah, I love the story about the ODR and going in at youth. Again, want to reiterate that, yeah, you can join hockey at any time. We're going to help you get through this initial phase of that fear of joining. You know, like Brad said, there's a community there to help you navigate the registration, the equipment that's necessary, getting involved in the team environment. When we put you on a team, we're going to make sure that you are with those like love or like skilled players that can, and the coaches that can help you learn those skills. And I go back to what he said about, you know, those in the teens. You know, if we were closed-minded nowadays, we wouldn't have Kelly Rudy, for example, in the system. You know, everybody knows his story that he started as a goaltender in hockey in his team. Like, you know, I think he was in Pee Wee at the time. I think so. Again, you can start hockey at any time. Again, we're here to really just cultivate the love of the game and continue to play on into adulthood. And again, hopefully you have that bonding experience with your family situation as well. And again, that just encourages that love of the game. Whether, again, it's just showing up to an outdoor rink in December or watching the Oilers Cup runs in May and June, hopefully, or the World Juniors in December. Like, you can go down the list. Hockey builds a community, and there's nothing better than joining this community of ours.
Well said there, Jeremy. Yeah, it's a ripple effect, right? You want to make that impact on a kid right out of the gate, and he referred to it there, where kids are gonna be like, you know, I'm in the Southwest zone. You know, this is what I'm involved with, and it's kids will it's contagious, right? So you got to make that impact, and they're certainly doing that for sure. This is the Hockey Edmonton Show. I'm YouTube Trev. That's Jeremy Halischuk. As we await our final guest of today's show, it is Dustin Moore from Central Alberta Outreach Centre and star of the Oh Dear podcast. But yeah, lots to talk about with him. We should be joined with him shortly. I did have a question I was going to discuss. What was I going to ask you, Jeremy? Oh, yes. He's in Ottawa. He doesn't live in Ottawa, though.
No.
So I know a few weeks ago you went to Ottawa. Is he involved with that?
No, that's
a separate.
That's his real life job there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, not real life, like business wise.
Yeah.
I know he does travel back and forth a lot.
Okay.
So no, but
so he'll be
not
making his way back here shortly.
Yeah, not the same reason I was in Ottawa for a few weeks ago now.
For that convention thing.
Yeah.
Right on. Awesome. So as we await our next guest, what is up, guys? Welcome back. We're doing things a little differently. We kind of had to improvise on this edition of the episode. We're talking about how hockey gives back, and earlier on the episode, we spoke with Brad Butterfield, president of the Southwest Zone Minor Hockey. He shed some light on a lot of key factors as to why and what hockey does to give back. And we had a little bit of technical issues, but we're very happy to be joined with our next guest, and he'll be joining us shortly here. Dustin Moore, he is Central Alberta Outreach Centre from Central Alberta Outreach Centre, and one of the stars of the Oh Dear podcast. But quickly, I just want to touch on this, Jeremy. We're doing things a little different this week. How you doing, man?
Oh, yeah, we're doing definitely a little bit different. Yeah, I'm doing well. I can't really complain. Yeah, we had to, like you said, we've improvised, and that part of that is I'm also, on vacation here. So, yeah, a little bit different background there. I think I matched up the shirt. I don't remember if I was wearing the same top, but I think I did. If not, then I'll look really different. But, yeah, a little bit different background there, too. Not the Edmonton Sport Talk. Unfortunately, I couldn't bring that with me. So you get the background of the fabulous Town and Place Hotel in Cincinnati, Ohio. So
nice. Well, it looks very spiffy there, Jeremy. I actually forgot about that. My apologies. The continuity, you are wearing the exact same thing. I am not. So apologies for that, folks. But without further ado, I'm pretty sure he's all set. Let's bring in Dustin Moore. And without further ado, Dustin, thanks for joining us. How's the day going so far?
Yeah, good. Yeah, and thanks for having me. This is fun. This is legit right now.
It is legit.
I'm loving this production.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that. And thanks for taking the time out of your day. And just one more time, Dustin Moore from Central Alberta Outreach Centre and one of the stars of the Oh Dear podcast. The focus on today's show is just, talking about how hockey gives back. And we talk about how hockey builds good people. And you're a great example of this. Can you explain how you got so invested in building your community and the role hockey played in that?
Yeah, I think just, looking back to minor hockey and, some of the values that team instills in you, and obviously parents have a lot to do with that as well. But so community has always been a big part of my family. And, it wasn't as popular back in the day, the minor hockey giving back and through the good deeds and all the different things that the minor hockey teams do now for community. But junior hockey, it was really popular. So, fortunate enough to play Junior A and in the Western Hockey League and then in the CIS. So, through my time there, got to deal a lot with schools and different community nonprofits and really, just found it to be really rewarding and through hockey and team. And I find that, when you're doing stuff with your friends and with your team, how could it be that bad? And especially when you're building up your community. So really fortunate to have gone through that whole process and see the importance of community and what hockey touches in the community. So, and now here I am. I worked in hockey, played in hockey, worked in hockey for like 30 years of my life, and had an opportunity to give back in a nonprofit in our community and one that touches a lot of different lives in our community. So took the chance, have a wife and a daughter and a son now, and to be able to give back into those who are less fortunate has been pretty awesome.
No, definitely. And I think, at the end of the day, when I thought about this, I circled your name on there because I think overall a very good person, as much as a fun-loving person, but a big heart as well. And I think that goes beyond just your role at the Central Alberta Outreach Centre. We joked around about the Oh Dear podcast and the philanthropy that you and your organization does, as well as other philanthropic things such as your Optimist Club participation and such. You are a community builder here. And so I'm just getting up my notes here for my next question. And again, it's not alone. You have a group of friends that have become leaders in your community, many of which have played with you. How has that team evolved, and how did the experience in hockey shape all of you folks and really your drive to give back to not only making your community better for those less fortunate, but also those that just love Red Deer and Central Alberta? Again, I look at a lot of the things that you folks have done. While I was at Hockey Alberta, I saw it firsthand, but also we've kept in touch a lot after since then, and you continue to see how you and your crew there drive that community spirit.
Yeah, I think Jeremy, you touched on a few points, but like team for me has always been, team and culture and building friendship and really advancing those relationships, not letting them lose touch has been a huge part of it. Like COVID, I look back to 2020 when COVID hit and the world was in a whirlwind. No one knew quite what was going on. And we were like, well, how can we, as a friend group and a group that was, hanging out a lot with each other and doing different charitable activities and raising money for different organizations, we knew that, those are going to dry up in a spot where you can't host events. And so we thought to ourselves, like, how can we connect and stay together? And that's when the Oh Dear podcast was launched, I guess. We had no idea what we were doing. Thankfully, Ted, our fearless leader, knew a lot about this stuff, but the other four of us had no clue. And we, not that we set out to make it a community podcast, but it quickly transpired into that. It was, businesses were getting involved and helping out. We were shining spotlights on different events and charity events and nonprofit stuff that was going on through COVID. And it just became this cool, fun community podcast where we could shine lights on a lot of different things that was happening in our community. And then, we have our golf tournament that we've ran for I think it's 11 years now that we've given almost $100,000 back to the community in Central Alberta. So, one of those things where it's a little bit selfish in a way, where, we still get to do a golf tournament and hang out with friends, but we have that piece where we want to make sure we're still, giving back, and it all comes back to, our friend group and a lot of the people that we've kept in touch with over the years with hockey have been very fortunate in their upbringings and fortunate where they are today. So we know that that's not the case for a lot of people in our community, and any way we can help them out, it's always nice.
Dustin Moore from Central Alberta Outreach Centre and one of the stars of the Oh Dear podcast is with us right now on the Hockey Edmonton Show. This is episode 14. And just another one for you there, Dustin. As a player, you have participated in various community building initiatives. What impact did these things have on you and how you grew as a player in person?
Well, yeah, I mean, huge. Never do you really get to experience, or the only time I've ever got to experience a celebrity status was, playing junior hockey. You truly are a celebrity in your community, and seeing kids looking up to you as a role model, I think is so unique and so cool. My time at Hockey Alberta after I was done playing hockey and then with working in a junior A hockey team as well, I really tried to shine that down to the players and the people that we were going through our programs, at 16, 17 years old. This is probably, X amount of percentage of kids will make the NHL. Yeah, that's awesome. But 99 whatever percent won't. So really, take it all in. It's really cool that at a time in your life when you're 19, 18, 19, 20 years old and you're a role model to however many kids, you're in schools, you're reading, you're doing all these different things, playing floor hockey with these kids, and they know you as number 17 on that team or whatever number you're wearing. I think is just such a unique, cool thing. So, I mean, I look at that and I think that's what makes junior hockey one of the best times of your life and helps shape you as a person. I was fortunate enough too when I was 20 and playing for the Rebels that we got to fly down to Vancouver and take in the Street Smarts program, learn a lot about East Hastings, some of the issues that were going on there, and then come back to our community and also pass on our experiences to junior high and high school kids and help them understand what can happen if you go down that path. And I think it makes a huge difference, and one that I will always remember. I think it's almost 20 years ago now, but getting old.
It's funny that you say the impact, because I think in a previous podcast in our former work environment, it was revealed that one of our coworkers actually looked up to you back in your playing days there, Taryn Baumgart, when she was going to attend Rebel games with her parents and grandparents. So I started to chuckle when you talked about that.
It's a total full circle thing, because you talk about Taryn and watching me as she grew up at the Rebels games, and I look at like the Jesse Wallens and some of the players who went through the Rebels who are still involved in hockey in some capacity, pro scouts, amateur scouts, and I'm like, oh man, I remember when I was like 10 years old watching the Rebels, and seeing all these players, and some are coaches now, and it's a total full circle thing, and it'll continue to be, because hockey is the sport that gives back so much and is such a community and creates such connection.
No, for sure, and that's what we're trying to really highlight. And again, one of the good guys in the game, I think, that has shown, and that's Dustin here, a really good person as a whole. For those that are watching or that are familiar with the Oh Dear podcast, no, they didn't fire him, and he's not a permanent permanent guest on our show. He's not looking for an extra paycheck here and such, but so rest assured, I'm sure he'll be making his appearances soon enough again. So definitely one of the things that we do want to highlight again, because our program hopefully does not end right in Edmonton and such. So, hopefully there are people here that are watching throughout Alberta. Again, we want to try to really share the stories, not only of Hockey Edmonton, but the game as a whole and our system as a whole. So do you want to quickly touch on what your role is and what you do with the Central Alberta Outreach Society there, or Centre, I should say, and what your organization does for those in Central Alberta, and also who you overall serve?
Yeah, so we do serve, Central Alberta, but it extends a little bit beyond Central Alberta, depending on the need and the services that are available in that area. But my actual role here is just events and fun development. So, I get to be part of all the big fun events and help with donors and help them understand what programs we have here. But, the true people who are running, or the people who are running this organization, are the heartbeat of this organization, are all the social workers, the ones who are actually, on the front lines with our clients. And, I get to be arm's reach away, which, I don't know how I would do if I wasn't arm's reach away, just because of, I'm a pretty soft guy. So, but I still get to help out in a way where I get to understand what's happening in our community, what the need is in our community, and really help those clients who are coming through the doors. So we have kind of 4 pillars. We have our poverty reduction program, which helps at a couple crunch times of the year. So our Tools for Schools program and our Adopt a Family program right now that's happening at Christmas, help families that are struggling, single parent families who are struggling in those crunch times to get through. Then we have our housing program. So it's a rapid rehousing program. So anyone who's kind of experiencing homelessness or first-time homelessness, we try to get them housed and to stay off the streets. And then we have our domestic violence program, which we have a couple different areas that touches, but we have a second stage shelter and then an outreach program right here at the Outreach Centre for domestic violence. And then we have our kind of mental health program, which we have educators who are in schools teaching about suicide prevention and education. And then we have some grief programs and dealing with suicide loss. And so it's like one of those organizations that is almost a wraparound service. Obviously, there's still some referrals that are needed if clients need certain stuff, but one that touches a lot of different people in our community and one that has helped a lot of people since I've been here for the last year and a half.
Yeah, and just the last one from me there, Dustin, just curious, you mentioned a lot of programs, you mentioned a lot of initiatives there. Just curious to people listening, maybe to people, use your voice to our audience. Where can people go and who can people contact if they want to do help with some of these programs and initiatives?
Yeah, so you can reach out to myself. I'm always available. It's Dustin at caoutreach.org. And then I'm just making sure I grab the website right. I think it's the outreachcenter.org.
Okay.
And it's one of those things where, we have a lot of cool, unique events. Jeremy, we were joking a little bit before the show started about the lip sync battle that's going on right now. It's quickly become one of our, community events that the community supports so big. And it's, I got convinced to go up on the stage at one of our, you talk about community builders, Bo's Barn Stage here in Red Deer and the work that they do for our community. And so we had night 1 and night 2's coming up, and I got to do another performance, but
Well, I mean, Trev was impressed with the bar dancing skills for the promo that you guys did. He hasn't seen the dancing one from this weekend. That's just making its rounds on the social media right now. So,
yeah, anything for community and charity. I don't say no to too much. That's for sure.
Absolutely. And just to some of our listeners, Dustin, where can people go to see the Oh Dear podcast? Where can people listen? Where can people watch?
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. I think we're on all those things. Social media is just at Oh Dear Podcast, and if you want to watch a bunch of guys just having a good time, it's one that's for you.
Right on. Great stuff there, Dustin. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. I really appreciate it, and we'll be sure to have you on in a later episode. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks, Trevor.
All right. Thanks, Dustin.
Right on. That was a good conversation there, Jeremy, eh? Good guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's he was a very good guy at Hockey Alberta, one of those true good people. And again, it's funny, you sit there and you hear him talk about the soft spot. And again, he's a guy that played the game hard. He knew what his role was to get to junior hockey and how to stay in there. And again, like you look at true community building. Again, we talk about his Chubbs golf tournament and the money that's raised. It's actually expanded on to the wives and girlfriends. They do what they call the Chubbettes as well, and same principle, giving back money. The Optimist, he was part of the Piper Creek Optimist Club for a long time, and the work they do for not only community all over Central Alberta, including Hockey Alberta Foundation. They did a lot of good work there, raising funds, and continue to do so. And again, the Oh Dear podcast and their group, again, you look at the community building that they've done within that group of people. And again, just a testament to the group of guys that there are. And again, I'm in a fantasy football league with some of them, or with them as well. And there's obviously a few of us that, as Dustin alluded to, Ted and, Kevin and coworker Aaron and Dustin, obviously we're all coworkers and such. And, but just meeting those guys in different capacities, just shows a really good group of people that are determined to give back to the community and really have that pride. So when we talk about what the game brings back, like Dustin said, those experiences and opening up those eyes for some of those programs, the talk about the East Hastings program and how they were able to bring that back to schools. Again, that communication and working with the next generation of players, and how it keeps on coming full circle, and that they continue to raise the bar with every generation. This is what what we talk about when we talk about how hockey builds good communities and good people. Dustin is a prime example, and he's not the only example, as we've talked about here throughout the program, that there's a lot of good work done within our community programs and our club programs, and as well with the players and such, that show they give back to the community, and we really do bring that build that community up as a whole. So
yeah, great stuff. That was Dustin Moore from Central Alberta Outreach Centre, and one of the stars of the Oh Dear podcast. As mentioned, if you want to listen or watch the Oh Dear podcast, you can look him up on the socials. He did a nice little plug there, which I've been watching. It's funny. I love what those guys are doing. It's pretty cool. I'm happy you brought that up to me, Jeremy, because I've been tuning in and seeing what they're doing. It's good stuff. It really is. I like to see what they're doing. And I mean, you talk about all the initiatives and programs. We're talking about Hockey Gives Back. It's not just one. And Dustin had mentioned all those programs. So they're doing good stuff. Good people. Dustin Moore is certainly one of them at the Central Alberta Outreach Centre. So you love to see it. So this has been another really good episode here, Jeremy. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining today. I know it was a little bit of a hiccup. We had some technical difficulties, but we make it work here at the Hockey Edmonton Show.
Exactly. This will be at nothing more. Hopefully the people watching this understand that this quite is a unique episode, not only because of what we're doing and what we're sharing today, but also, the different factors that came into play in recording this episode. So.
Yeah, absolutely. But we got her done. So thanks to all for tuning in today, this fine Saturday morning. We really, really appreciate it. Hope you guys are staying warm and watching lots of hockey tonight. Jeremy, safe travels back home, okay? Can't wait to hear all the stories.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. That wraps up episode 14 right here on the Hockey Edmonton Show on Edmonton Sports Talk. Ciao for now.